All right, we're ready to go in and solder our bezel. We've got the bezel wire here that we have gone through and filed down the edge, and we've lined it up so that there is light tight. If there's any light coming through, it won't attach. So we're going to go ahead and lay that down on the solder table. Grab a piece of hard solder and put the solder right there on the solder board, and then we're going to just put the bezel seam right there directly on top of that piece of solder. So let me zoom in here so you can see. Oops. I'm going to put that directly right on top of the solder right there on top of the seam. And then I'm going to go in with the solder torch, and I'm going to warm up the bezel real quick. Alright, now that it's starting to change color, I'm going to go in and flex it. So spray a little bit of flex right there directly onto the bezel, and then I'll go in again, just warm in circles, keeping it flowing. And then I'm just going to take that in there and go back and forth right on top of that thing, being careful not to melt. There it went. Right on top of it, dropped right onto the piece. Turn it off and check it. And we'll quench that. And then check it. And you can see right there, we've got that piece of solder flowed right in there, and then we'll take that over and we'll pickle that. We're going to try that again with a medium-sized one. So I'm going to bring that wire together, but this time we're going to do it where we set it directly on top instead of having it sit on the wire. So I'm going to take my third hand here, put the bezel right there on it, and then set that right there. I'm going to take the solder, a little piece of solder right here onto the solder board. I'm going to take that piece of solder and place it right directly onto the piece right there. See if we can get a better angle. So you can see a little piece of solder sitting right directly on that seam inside. So we'll go in and start the torch. Go in, warm that up. Now that the metal is changing color, we can go in, spray a little bit of flex right on to the piece, warm that up. I'm going to take that torch and put it right there directly on the piece of solder. Make sure that it flew. You can see how right there the solder has gone in and flowed onto both sides. So I'm going to take that and remove that from the third hand and stick that in the quench. And there's a second way to solder that bezel together, and you can see that solder sitting right there. So there's those two.